Greetings, good people. I hope you're doing all right. Are you having a good April? I'm having a pretty good April. I'm mostly flying high on the cultural events of March that have been kind of showing us a way out. To the point that I've decided that I think we really need to do a monthly cultural touch point to kind of feel the pulse of our culture, to look for more ways out. Because I swear to God, there needs to be a way out. So anyway, we saw February. February was a real watershed month culturally. First of all, we had Doechii at the Grammy Awards giving her speech, which was literally pointing the way out. And then we had Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl halftime show, literally showing us the way out. I mean, what more than Serena Williams dancing the Crip Walk, pointing to the door? That's really what kind of got me thinking about this. So I'm going to do this once a month, kind of wrap up the month before. Let's see how March measured up, especially to April. Of course, March was International Women's Month, so a lot of things happened there. In D.C., we got a proclamation from our dear leader stating exactly what a woman is not. We really needed that because, who knows, everybody wants to be a woman now, I guess, because of all the perks of a whole month of your attention, huh? Anyway, the cherry blossoms were here in D.C. as well. They were all too short at the end of the month, and I didn't participate in them a whole lot, but it's a good thing to do, to go down to the tidal basin and look at all the blossoms. As far as Women's History Month, the one thing that I saw the most was the Billboard Women in Music Awards. My hero, the Queen, Erykah Badu, was awarded for being an icon. And her performance of Annie Don't Wear No Panties is something to catch. So I encourage you to do that. And of course, Billboard awarded Doechii Woman of the Year. And I think that Doechii might be Woman of the Year. Keep an eye on her. Watch that stuff. Her rapping is incredible. Her writing is fantastic. I just try to catch as much Doechii as I can this month. I feel a little sorry for Chapel Roan. She's always getting in trouble for saying things that she should be singing. Makes me wonder if she really is writing her songs. Maybe she needs to put a bit more of that controversy into her lyrics instead of her tweets. But anyway, God bless her. She's going places too, I am sure. Personally, I've really been enjoying watching the Wu-Tang Clan coming back together again. I'm really looking forward to an album of theirs very soon. As, of course, Erykah Badu, her new album in 15 years is coming out very, very soon. Looking forward to that very much. On my heavy rotation, still lots of oldies. Robert Glasper, for one, has been... Black Radio 3 just keeps coming up in my feed over and over again, especially his cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World with Common rapping through the solo part. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And of course, the Tedeschi Trucks Band, iconic 4-disc album, I Am the Moon. Just can't get enough of that. I know that's several years old, but you know what? It's still as fresh as ever to me. With TVs and movies, that's been a kind of interesting... it's really been an interesting year for both. I think movies are maybe becoming a dying art form at this point. I wouldn't count it out though. Movies always go through a phase where it's just not enjoyable to get dressed and schlep out to a theater to watch something worthy. And I think since Wicked, there really hasn't been anything at all. I think I've watched myself Electric State. Yeah, it was okay. Den of Thieves 2, it also was okay. Venom and Kraken. Terrible, terrible movies. And this other one, A Complete Unknown, heck, unwatchable. I mean, what was that? It was just plain awful. I don't know what it was trying to do. Every once in a while, I thought it was going to be a little bit of myth making, and it tried a little bit, but oh my God, no. Just Timothy Chalamet is, I don't want to watch Timothy Chalamet's method. It's not like there's a master class on Timothy Chalamet's method. He bent his back a little bit. I mean, wow, whoa, blow me away. But anyway, I'm trying not to concentrate on the negativity. I really do think that movies are in a hiatus at the moment because TV has managed to do what movies have been doing and that TV has been failing. It might even be kind of a flip now from, thanks Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon was the guy who figured that out. That people go to movies for a call to action and people stay home to watch TV to avoid taking action. Well, that script has kind of been flipped now mainly because of Dan Harmon and other kinds of really awesome TV shows like Snowpiercer and things like that are really affecting our consciousness. I might even put that HBO show about the hotels, The White Lotus. It also is kind of giving us a little bit of an education in class consciousness. But I'll tell you, my favorite TV show right now is The Wheel of Time on Prime. I know Prime puts commercials in the middle of everything, but it's so well worth the watch. That is a show with acid vision. It's so psychedelic. It just blows the mind open and just kind of feeds into Robert Jordan's whole themes of generational trauma and resolution, and it's well worth watching every minute of that series. I also really enjoyed The Residents on Netflix. Great show. Really teaching you about what it means to be America and what it constitutes really a true American icons. And not only that, it's a good fun whodunit. Although it is a little bit of that, has that bit postmodern self-referential that seems to eat up so much TV these days. But it's forgivable. Not like Complete Unknown. There's just nothing forgivable there with all of that postmodern schlock. And I gotta say, my guilty pleasure is Reacher, also on Prime. Although it's a very violent show with a lot of gratuitous murder. But if that's your thing, Reacher does it perfectly. Now into the games and tech world of March. We heard that Microsoft created the first quantum chip. It's not really technically a quantum chip, it's a topological quantum chip, and I'm not as technical savvy enough to tell the difference, but so I'm thinking, wow, quantum chips are here. And of course, NVIDIA created a desktop supercomputer that's the size of a cinder block. And of course, Apple is following up with their new Mac Studio, which is about the size of a brick, and with the M3 Ultra and M4 chip, I am definitely saving up my pennies for that. But can we all just kind of agree that we're getting a little tired of AI? It's turning into a billionaire bubble, maybe. Or at the very best, it's a fire hose of bullshit. You know, it's like, how much more bullshit does our internet need? Well, here's a fire hose more for you. So I'm kind of feeling like the bubble might be deflating a little bit, especially now that we're starting to see what the actual costs of all this are. But anyway, I'm really happy to tell you that the world's largest virtual dollhouse, World of Warcraft, is doing just fine. Their new expansion, the Undermined expansion, is a real treat. Their new Undermined zone, the Goblin City, Undermine, is very reminiscent of a mid-20th century urban scenario, like any big city in the mid-20th century. You got your little car you can roll around in. It's got trash everywhere. Everybody's crying. Good things happen there, though, too. A revolution in the streets. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend, if you haven't looked into World of Warcraft, I highly recommend getting into it now. They seem to be bucking the trend of go woke or go broke. And that's one thing I really enjoy about WoW, is that it is woke as you want to make it. But how about that Assassin's Creed? Oh, what a shame. What a shame. You know, it wouldn't have been so bad if they'd at least made a good game that didn't bug out all over the place. It really is giving ammunition to the folks who say go woke or go broke, because that game is going broke. Broke. And Nintendo? What about them? What the hell are they thinking with their new Switch that's going to be charging us $80 for a game that you can't even own? It's just $80 for the right to download some content? Please, people, don't pay it. At least go back on World of Warcraft and pay $90 for a mount. At least that's something, you know. If you're not going to own it, at least pay $90 for a mount you can't really own. I don't know. Are they going to work it out? Or are they just going to set the new standard for what we're going to be paying for games that we can't really own anymore? But anyway, that's my perspective of the month of March 2025. I invite your comments. Let's start a discussion. So subscribe and stay tuned. I'm hoping to do this again after the first Sunday in May. So be on the lookout for another fingering the pulse of our culture for the previous month. I hope April treats you very well. I hope April shows us more ways out with our culture. Thanks for your attention. I wish you all the best April 2025 ever. Bye.